going on, fam? Welcome to SkillTree, where we learn how to do just about everything. So I recently found myself in a casino. Well, that's not right. I went to a casino. It's not like I was kidnapped again and woke up in a casino. Anyways, while I was at this little adult arcade, I learned a little something about myself. I am not a gambler. The thought of losing my hard-earned and limited funds in a game of chance just makes my skin crawl. I just can't do it. To that end, today I'm going to be showing you 3 ways to engage in the fine art of controlling how events arrive to increase necessary gains. I know that's a mouthful, so here's a helpful acronym to help you out. Don't look at me like that. You're watching SkillTree, not LuckTree. So without much further ado or judgment from you, let's level up this skill. That rhymed. Method 1, coin reading. In this method, we're going to learn how to instantly read the result of a coin toss and alter the outcome as necessary. First things first though, these skills aren't to be used to dupe innocent souls out of their money. If you use your imagination, there's a good amount of situations where the control over fate is advantageous. Say someone at a bar is keen to start you trouble. Heads, I buy you a drink and you walk away. Tails, we go outside and fight. Might work, and for the cost of a drink, you don't have to get into a fight tonight. From my personal experience, I had a friend that I grew up with that was hell-bent on doing a stupid, dangerous thing, regardless of the arguments to the contrary. It was left up to a coin toss that I lost. It would have been much better had I won. Long story short, with great power comes great responsibilities and all that jazz, so just don't be a jerk with these skills and everything will be cool. All right, first, check it out in action. Heads. Tails. Heads. Tails. To perform this seemingly mystical feat, I'm relying on my most sensitive appendage. Get your head out of the gutter, I meant my fingertips. I mean, how would that even work? It turns out the human fingers are able to sense ridges on a surface as small as 13 nanometers. That's stupid small. A common analogy for that is that if your finger was the size of the Earth, you'd be able to feel the difference between houses and cars. The engravings on a quarter are way bigger than that. Pause this video and grab one. I'll wait. Now, if you close your eyes and rub your thumb across the surface of the quarter, you'll easily feel how much smoother Washington's head is compared to his tail. With very little practice, you're going to realize that you can almost instantaneously know what side you're touching. Simply flip the coin as usual. Upon catching it, slide your thumb across the surface and read the face of the coin with your fingertips. Depending on how you're playing, you could either call the side you know to be up or flip it as you place it down so that the side you want to be up is there. This facilitates someone being able to call it midair and you changing the result before you even place it on your hand. To flip it, just practice either placing it with your thumb or your forefingers, like so. With practice, this gets super smooth. For example, I decided to make all of these tosses heads. There is no other trickery done in this. I'm not tossing it a special way. I catch it, I read it immediately, and I decide which side I want to be up. This skill does a really good job at demonstrating how impressive the human body is. In the span of a heartbeat, you're able to catch a coin, read it with the tip of your finger, and make the decision to either lay it down flat or turn it over the other side. That's really impressive. Honestly, it kind of feels like a superpower. It happens just so fast. Pretty badass, really. Method 2, false flip. So you've abused that last trick one too many times and your opponent is getting suspicious. To allay their fears, we're gonna take out the flip and we're gonna let them watch the coin actually land how fate intended. I mean, it's not your fault the universe happens to love you, right? Check this one out in action. I made the decision here that every single one of them will be heads. So the trick to this is that the coin never actually flips over. Rather, it convincingly wobbles, giving the appearance of a flip. So a real basic version of this is if you were to hold it like this and just have it go straight up and back down. But this is way cooler than that. To do this, hold the coin between your thumb and middle finger, so the side you want is showing. Then toss the coin by snapping your fingers. This is probably a skill you already have. It's exactly the same motion as snapping your fingers. Really nothing else fancy to learn at all. That being said, it does take a little bit of practice. I had a real problem controlling where the coin went. Like I either shot it away from me or I shot it back against my forehead. So I don't know, maybe wear safety glasses for this part? Stick with it though, because when you get it right, the effect is super impressive. Like check out this footage. Even close up, it looks like it's flipping. But when we slow it down, you can see it never actually turns over. It just wobbles with the same side up in the air. Seriously, even doing it myself, I'd bet money that thing was flipping. And then I'd promptly use this trick to make all of that money back. Method 3, loaded dice. This next skill employs more like maker skills ahead of time than it does in the moment trickery. All right, I'm hedging. I've always wanted loaded dice, and this episode is a perfect excuse to make some. So, loaded dice. You're gonna wanna start with your standard 6-sided dice. Decide first which side you wanna show up most often. For my purposes, I'm choosing 6 and 1. Lots of dice games favor either one or the other of these or the total of 7, so figured it was a good call. Secure the dice in a vise. That also rhymed. We're gonna be drilling out the pips on the opposite side of the side that we want up. So in my case, that just so happens to be the 6 side and the 1 side as they're opposite each other. I found a 5/64 drill bit is just a little bit smaller than the pips. Then I drilled out each dot, being careful not to alter its size and shape. Once you're all set with that, it's time to prepare our weight material. I'm opting to use lead from this fishing sinker due to how heavy lead is. That being said, lead poisoning's a thing, so if you are attempting the skill, do so at your own risk and please wear protection equipment. Using a file, I shaved off some lead dust onto a piece of paper. Then I used the paper to funnel the lead into the holes I drilled. Using a punch, I then compacted all of the lead as tightly as I could. Lead's super soft, so under pressure it formed a solid piece again, filling the space tightly with a smooth surface. To add the color back to the little pips, I got some glossy model paint from the craft store and carefully filled in the circles. The finished result actually matches all of my dice really nicely. Like you would have to very specifically be looking for the loaded dice in order to find them. Now with loaded dice, it's not guaranteed that every roll you're gonna land on the side you want. The chances are just greatly improved. On average, I was able to get the correct sides up like every 1 in 4 rolls, which is really good. So let's place a little bet. Heads, you like and subscribe. Tails, you click off to another video. Look at that. I won. No, seriously, I won. Seriously though, if you like what you saw, please do hit that thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you know when I release new content. Also, if you have a skill in mind you'd like to see me cover, leave it down in the comment section and I will add it to the list. Well, I better be going. I've got some some associates who would like to engage in a gentlemanly game of chance. Wish me luck. In the meantime, keep leveling up, you.